Good morning, everyone. Have you ever noticed how two people can go through the same situation, yet one sees it as an opportunity while the other sees it as a disaster? The difference isn't in their circumstances, it's in their mindset. The way we think shapes the way we experience the world. It determines whether we see obstacles or possibilities, failures or lessons, dead ends or new beginnings. Positive thinking isn't about ignoring reality or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about choosing how we respond. It's about understanding that while we don't always control what happens to us, we always control how we interpret and react to it. We live in a world that constantly bombards us with negativity. Turn on the news, scroll through social media, or listen to the conversations happening around you, and you'll find that most of what people focus on is what's wrong. Problems, crises, failures. We are conditioned to expect the worst, to anticipate disappointment, to assume that if something can go wrong, it probably will. But what if we flipped that? What if instead of assuming the worst, we started looking for the best? What if we trained our minds to see opportunities in problems, growth in failure, and possibilities in every situation? The most successful people in the world are not the ones who never face hardship. They are the ones who refuse to let hardship define them. They don't let negative thoughts dictate their actions. They don't let fear, doubt, or failure stop them. They understand that their mindset is their greatest asset. They know that how they choose to think determines what they are capable of achieving. The difference between someone who succeeds and someone who doesn't is often as simple as the way they think about challenges. One person sees a setback as proof that they aren't good enough. Another sees it as feedback that helps them get better. One person sees failure as an end, another sees it as a step toward success. The power of a positive mindset is not about wishful thinking. It's not about sitting back and hoping things get better. It's about believing in your ability to influence the outcome. It's about taking action with confidence instead of hesitation. It's about knowing that even when things don't go your way, you have the ability to adapt, to learn, to pivot, to grow. Every challenge, every obstacle, every setback is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are stronger than your circumstances. The way we think doesn't just affect how we feel, it affects what we do. A person who believes they can succeed will try harder, stay longer, and push through difficulties. A person who doubts themselves will hesitate, give up too soon, or not even try at all. The mind is incredibly powerful, but most people don't realize they have control over it. They assume that their thoughts are just a reaction to the world around them. But the truth is, we have the ability to train our minds. We can choose to focus on what is possible instead of what is difficult. We can choose to see problems as stepping stones instead of barriers. We can choose to challenge negative thoughts instead of accepting them as truth. The most dangerous thing about a negative mindset is that it can feel so real. It tells you that you aren't capable. It convinces you that things won't work out. It keeps you small, cautious, afraid. But just because a thought enters your mind doesn't mean you have to believe it. You can challenge it. You can replace it. You can decide that your potential is greater than your doubt. The more you do this, the more you rewire your brain to think differently. Some people believe that positive thinking is naive, that it's about ignoring problems or pretending that everything is okay. But real positive thinking is not about denial. It's about perspective. It's about choosing to focus on what you can control instead of what you can't. It's about seeing solutions instead of dwelling on problems. It's about knowing that setbacks are temporary, that challenges make you stronger, that failure is just part of the process. A strong mindset doesn't mean you will never feel doubt, fear, or frustration. It means you don't let those emotions control you. It means that even when things feel impossible, you remind yourself that you have overcome difficult situations before and you will do it again. It means that instead of asking, what if I fail, you start asking, what if I succeed? The way we think affects not only our own success, but also the people around us. When we choose to see the world through a positive lens, we inspire others to do the same. We become the kind of person people want to be around, the kind of leader people want to follow, the kind of friend who lifts others up instead of dragging them down. Energy is contagious, and when you bring a positive mindset into a room, it changes the dynamic. It creates an environment where people feel encouraged, empowered, and capable. The good news is that a positive mindset is something you can develop. It's like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. It starts with self-awareness, with noticing the thoughts you allow to take up space in your mind. Are they thoughts that push you forward or thoughts that hold you back? Are they thoughts that build your confidence or thoughts that create doubt? Once you start paying attention, you can begin shifting those thoughts. You can start replacing negative self-talk with words of encouragement. You can start choosing to see possibilities where you once saw limitations. Your mindset determines your reality. If you believe that things will never change, they won't. If you believe that you are not good enough, you won't be. If you believe that obstacles are the end of the road, they will be. But if you believe that you have the ability to grow, to improve, to figure things out, you will. If you believe that failure is just a lesson, you will keep trying until you succeed. If you believe that you are capable, you will take action that proves you are. The question is not whether life will challenge you, it will. The question is how you will respond. Will you let negativity, fear, and doubt control you, or will you train your mind to see challenges as opportunities? Will you choose to focus on what's possible instead of what's wrong? Will you commit to developing a mindset that serves you instead of one that limits you? Because at the end of the day, the most powerful tool you have is not your talent, your skills, or your resources. It's your mindset. And the good news is you are in complete control of it. Your mindset is the lens through which you see the world. It determines how you interpret challenges, how you handle failures, and how you pursue success. Two people can go through the exact same situation, yet one will come out stronger while the other feels defeated. The difference is not in their circumstances, but in their mindset. Some people see obstacles as proof that they should give up, while others see them as opportunities to grow. Some people believe that their abilities are fixed, that they are either good at something or not, while others believe that they can develop any skill with effort and persistence. The way you think about yourself, your abilities, and the world around you shapes the results you get. Most people assume that their mindset is just a natural part of who they are, something they were born with, something they can't change. But mindset is not fixed, it is learned. From a young age, we are influenced by the experiences we have, the messages we receive, and the stories we tell ourselves. If we are told that failure is bad, we grow up fearing mistakes. If we are told that intelligence is something you either have or don't, we shy away from challenges. If we are told that life is about survival rather than growth, we settle for less than we are capable of. But these beliefs are not truths, they are just perspectives. And perspectives can change. The way you think is a choice, and when you take control of that choice, everything changes. There are two types of mindsets, fixed and growth. A fixed mindset says, I am who I am, and that will never change. A growth mindset says, I can learn, improve, and become better over time. A fixed mindset sees failure as a dead end. A growth mindset sees it as a lesson. A fixed mindset avoids challenges to protect the ego. A growth mindset seeks out challenges to develop skills. A fixed mindset says, I'm not good at this, while a growth mindset says, I can get better at this. And here's the truth. Every successful person has a growth mindset. They don't see their current abilities as permanent, they see them as a starting point. They believe that through effort, discipline, and resilience, they can develop skills, overcome obstacles, and achieve things that once seemed impossible. Think about the most successful people in the world. Athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, scientists. Do you think they were born with every skill they needed? Do you think they just naturally had all the confidence, all the talent, all the ability to overcome challenges? No. They struggled. They failed. They had moments of doubt. The difference is they didn't let those moments define them. They believed that growth was possible, that success was within reach, that effort would lead to progress. They focused on what they could control, their attitude, their work ethic, their ability to learn. When you shift your mindset, your world changes. Suddenly, challenges become opportunities. Failures become lessons. Obstacles become part of the process rather than reasons to quit. You start to see that success isn't reserved for a special few, but available to those who are willing to develop the mindset needed to achieve it. You stop asking, can I do this? And start asking, how can I do this? You stop assuming that struggle means you aren't capable, and start realizing that struggle is a necessary step on the path to growth. Most people think that their thoughts are just a reaction to the world around them, that their mindset is shaped by their circumstances, but it's the other way around. Your mindset shapes your circumstances. The way you think affects the way you act, and the way you act affects the results you get. If you believe that you can improve, you will put in more effort, you will take more risks, you will push through difficulties. If you believe that your abilities are fixed, you won't even try. You will assume that if you don't succeed immediately, it means you aren't capable. But that's not true. The people who succeed are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who refuse to let failure stop them. Your brain is powerful. It listens to the messages you tell it. If you constantly feed it thoughts of doubt, negativity, and limitation, it will believe them. If you tell yourself that you aren't good enough, that you'll never succeed, that you aren't as talented as others, your brain will find evidence to support those beliefs. But the same is true in the opposite direction. If you tell yourself that you are capable of growth, that you can develop any skill, that challenges are making you stronger, your brain will find evidence for that too. The thoughts you choose to focus on will shape the actions you take and the results you get. One of the most powerful things you can do is take control of your self-talk. Pay attention to the thoughts that run through your mind every day. Are they helping you move forward or holding you back? Are they thoughts of possibility or limitation? Are they thoughts of resilience or thoughts of defeat? Every time you catch yourself thinking in a way that doesn't serve you, challenge it, replace it. If you hear yourself saying, "I can't do this," reframe it as, "I can figure this out." If you hear yourself saying, "I'm not good enough," change it to, "I am capable of growth." The words you speak to yourself matter more than you realize. Mindset is not about ignoring reality. It's not about pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about choosing how you respond to those challenges. It's about training your brain to look for solutions instead of problems, for opportunities instead of limitations. It's about developing the mental strength to keep going when things don't go your way. Every great achievement starts in the mind. Before anyone accomplishes something big, they first have to believe that it's possible. They have to see themselves as capable. They have to commit to the process. Changing your mindset doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. It's a daily decision to think differently, to challenge limiting beliefs, to replace negativity with empowerment. It takes practice. But just like any skill, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And the more you train your brain to see possibilities instead of limitations, the more those possibilities start to show up in your life. The world is full of people who limit themselves because of the way they think. They assume that their potential is capped, that their circumstances define them, that they don't have what it takes. But the truth is, the only thing standing between you and the results you want is the way you think. When you shift your mindset, you shift your reality. When you start believing in growth, effort, and resilience, you start seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. The greatest advantage you can give yourself is not more talent, more intelligence, or more resources. It's the ability to develop a mindset that allows you to take on any challenge and turn it into an opportunity for success. Positive thinking is not about ignoring reality or pretending that problems don't exist. It is not about denying hardship, failure, or setbacks. Instead, it is about the perspective you choose to adopt in the face of challenges. Every situation in life comes with multiple ways to look at it, and the lens through which you choose to see the world determines how you react, how you grow, and ultimately how you succeed. Some people see obstacles as signs to stop, while others see them as opportunities to learn, adapt, and improve. The difference is not in the situation itself, but in the perspective applied to it. Life is unpredictable. It will test you, it will push you, and it will bring moments of difficulty. The truth is, no one escapes challenges, setbacks, or struggles. But what separates those who overcome from those who give up is not the presence or absence of difficulty, it is the mindset they choose in response to it. When things go wrong, some people dwell on what is broken, why it happened, and how unfair it is. Others acknowledge the challenge, but quickly shift their focus to what can be done, what can be learned, and how they can move forward. The first group remains stuck in frustration and negativity, while the second group finds a way to keep going. This is the power of perspective. When faced with failure, one person might say, "This proves I'm not good enough," while another might say, "This is proof that I'm pushing myself beyond my comfort zone, and I am learning." The situation is the same, but the interpretation changes everything. The first person feels discouraged and is likely to stop trying. The second person finds motivation in the failure and continues improving. It is the perspective, not the event, that shapes the outcome. If you can train yourself to see setbacks as stepping stones rather than roadblocks, you will continue progressing no matter how many times you fall. This doesn't mean that positive thinking ignores reality or sugarcoats difficult situations. It doesn't mean pretending that pain, disappointment, or hardship don't exist. It means recognizing those difficulties but choosing to direct your energy toward solutions rather than problems. There is a big difference between saying everything is fine when it clearly isn't and saying things are tough but I will find a way through this. Positive thinking isn't about being blind to the negative. It is about refusing to let the negative control you. Some of the most successful people in the world did not succeed because their path was easy. They succeeded because when faced with challenges, they didn't see them as reasons to stop. They saw them as reasons to work harder, learn more, and push forward. They saw failure as a teacher, not an enemy. They saw obstacles as puzzles to solve, not barriers to success. They didn't allow setbacks to define them. They used them as fuel to keep going. Think about an athlete training for a competition. If they face a loss or an injury, they have two choices. They can focus on the setback, feel defeated, and decide they are not good enough. Or they can focus on recovery, training smarter, and coming back stronger. The first approach leads to quitting, while the second leads to growth. The situation is the same, but the way they choose to view it makes all the difference. The same applies to everyday life. Imagine someone working on a project at work and their idea gets rejected. One person might take it as a sign that they are not capable and lose confidence. Another might take it as a sign that they need to refine their idea, improve their skills, and come back stronger. Over time, one person will remain stagnant, while the other will develop resilience, creativity, and problem-solving skills. Positive thinking is not about ignoring the negative. It is about choosing to focus on what can be done instead of what cannot. It is about directing energy towards solutions instead of problems. It is about looking at a closed door and instead of staring at it in frustration, turning around to see if another door is open. It is about understanding that failure is not the end but a step in the process of growth. It is about knowing that difficulties do not define you but how you respond to them does. The human brain is wired to focus on threats and negativity as a survival mechanism. This is why bad experiences tend to stay in our minds longer than good ones. But just like any habit, this way of thinking can be changed. Training your brain to focus on possibilities instead of limitations takes effort, but over time it becomes second nature. When faced with challenges, you can teach yourself to ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of, why is this happening to me? You can train yourself to see effort and growth instead of only focusing on the end result. You can remind yourself that every setback carries a lesson and every difficulty has the potential to make you stronger. People often assume that positive thinking is just wishful thinking, but in reality, it is a powerful tool that influences actions, decisions, and outcomes. A person who believes they have a chance of succeeding will put in the effort, take risks, and push forward even when things are tough. A person who believes they are doomed to fail will hesitate, give up easily, and avoid challenges. The mindset creates the reality. If you believe in possibilities, you will take action to create them. If you believe in limitations, you will unconsciously reinforce them. The way you think affects the way you speak, the way you act, and ultimately the way you live. Words like I can't or it's impossible shape the way you approach problems. Shifting your language to I'll find a way or this is tough, but I will figure it out changes how you approach challenges. The thoughts you choose repeatedly become the beliefs that guide your life. One of the biggest misconceptions about positive thinking is that it is only useful when things are going well. In reality, its greatest power is seen in moments of difficulty. It is easy to stay positive when everything is going your way, but the real test comes when things go wrong. Can you still find a way to move forward? Can you still choose growth over fear, resilience over doubt, and progress over stagnation? That is where positive thinking becomes a game changer. It is important to surround yourself with influences that reinforce a positive perspective. The people you spend time with, the books you read, the content you consume, all of these shape the way you think. If you are constantly surrounded by negativity, doubt, and fear, it will be much harder to maintain a positive outlook. But if you choose to be around people who inspire you, expose yourself to ideas that challenge you, and seek out knowledge that expands your mind, you create an environment where positive thinking becomes natural. The reality is that everyone faces setbacks, everyone experiences failure, but not everyone responds the same way. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who rise above is not the absence of difficulties, it is the perspective they choose. Positive thinking does not guarantee that life will always be easy, but it guarantees that no matter what happens, you will have the mindset to keep moving forward, keep growing, and keep finding new opportunities even in the face of adversity. Your thoughts shape everything about you. They determine the way you feel, the way you act, and ultimately the results you get in life. The way you think about yourself and your abilities directly influences the decisions you make, the chances you take, and the level of effort you put into your goals. If you believe you are capable, you will take action with confidence. If you believe you are not, you will hesitate, hold yourself back, and let opportunities pass by. The difference is not in talent or resources, but in the mindset you choose to adopt. Every action you take starts as a thought. A person who believes they can achieve something will work towards it with determination, while a person who doubts themselves will find excuses, procrastinate, or avoid trying altogether. The mind creates the path before the feet ever take the first step. A student who tells themselves, I am not good at math, will approach every problem with hesitation, frustration, and a lack of confidence. They will put in less effort because they assume failure is inevitable. But a student who tells themselves, math is challenging, but I can improve with practice, will approach the same problems with curiosity, persistence, and effort. The subject is the same, but the belief changes the experience. One mindset leads to struggle and avoidance, while the other leads to progress and growth. Your thoughts also influence how you respond to failure. When things don't go as planned, one person might think, "This proves I am not good enough," while another might think, "This is a learning experience that will help me improve." The first person feels defeated and stops trying, while the second person gains knowledge, adjusts their approach, and continues moving forward. The failure itself is not what determines the outcome, it is the way the person interprets it. Every successful person has failed at some point, but they did not let those failures define them. They used them as stepping stones, learning from their mistakes and coming back stronger. Think about an athlete training for a marathon. If they believe they are capable, they will push themselves, train consistently, and build endurance. If they believe they are not, they will give up at the first sign of difficulty. The same applies to any area of life, whether it's starting a business, learning a new skill, or achieving personal growth. If you believe you can, you will keep going despite the challenges. If you believe you can't, you will find reasons to quit. This principle is not just about success and failure, it affects everyday decisions and behaviors. Imagine two people facing the same obstacle at work. One sees it as an opportunity to find a solution and prove their skills, while the other sees it as a burden and complains about it. The situation is identical, but their thoughts shape their response, which ultimately shapes their experience. One person grows, while the other stays stuck in frustration. The beliefs you hold about yourself are not always formed consciously. Many of them come from past experiences, childhood influences, or the opinions of others. If someone was constantly told they are not smart, they may carry that belief into adulthood, even if it is not true. If someone failed at something once and concluded that they are not good at it, they might never try again. These limiting beliefs become mental barriers that prevent growth. But just as these beliefs were formed, they can also be changed. Rewiring your thoughts requires awareness and intentional effort. It starts with recognizing the negative patterns that hold you back. Pay attention to the words you tell yourself daily. Are you constantly saying, "I can't do this," or "I am not good enough"? If so, challenge those thoughts. Ask yourself, is this really true? What evidence do I have to support this belief? More often than not, you will find that these limiting beliefs are based on fear rather than fact. Shifting your mindset also requires replacing negative thoughts with empowering ones. Instead of saying, "I am bad at this," say, "I am improving every day." Instead of saying, "This is too hard," say, "This is a challenge I am capable of overcoming." The words you use matter because they reinforce the way you see yourself. Over time, these small shifts create a new internal dialogue which then influences your actions and results. One of the biggest obstacles to changing thought patterns is fear of failure. Many people avoid taking action because they are afraid of making mistakes, being judged, or not succeeding immediately. But failure is not a reflection of your worth. It is simply a part of the learning process. Every successful person has failed more times than they can count. The difference is that they did not see failure as an endpoint, but as a necessary step toward mastery. If you shift your perspective and see failure as feedback rather than defeat, you will no longer be afraid to try. Taking control of your thoughts also means surrounding yourself with influences that reinforce a positive mindset. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the environment you place yourself in all affect your beliefs. If you are constantly around negativity, criticism, and doubt, it will be harder to maintain confidence and motivation. But if you surround yourself with people who challenge you, inspire you, and encourage growth, your mindset will naturally shift toward progress and resilience. It is also important to take action even when self-doubt is present. Confidence is not something that appears before you start. It is something that builds as you take steps forward. Many people wait until they feel ready, but the truth is, readiness comes through action. The more you do, the more capable you become. Small victories build momentum, and with each step, your belief in yourself grows. Another powerful way to reshape your thinking is by focusing on gratitude and progress rather than perfection. Many people get discouraged because they compare themselves to others or expect instant results. But growth is a process. Instead of fixating on how far you still have to go, acknowledge how far you have already come. Celebrate small improvements and recognize that every step forward is a step closer to your goal. Your thoughts influence not only your success, but also your happiness. People who focus on what they lack, what's going wrong, or what they can't do are often stuck in frustration. Those who focus on possibilities, solutions, and progress feel more empowered and fulfilled. The difference is not in their circumstances, but in the way they choose to see them. At the end of the day, the mind is a powerful tool. It can either be your greatest asset or your biggest obstacle. The way you think about yourself and your abilities determines the effort you put in, the risks you take, and the resilience you build. If you want to change your life, start by changing your thoughts. Train your mind to see opportunities instead of roadblocks, to embrace challenges instead of avoiding them, and to believe in your own ability to grow. Once you shift your thinking, everything else follows. Negativity is not just an attitude, it is a habit. It is a pattern of thinking that becomes ingrained in the way we see the world, the way we interpret events, and the way we respond to challenges. Many people do not even realize they are caught in a cycle of negativity because it feels natural, almost automatic. When things go wrong, their first instinct is to complain, to blame, or to assume the worst. When opportunities arise, they immediately focus on what could go wrong instead of what could go right. This habit of negative thinking does not just affect mood, it affects actions, decisions, and ultimately the course of one's life. Positivity, on the other hand, is also a habit. It is a way of thinking that can be developed, just like any other skill. People are not born inherently negative or positive. They develop these tendencies over time based on experiences, influences, and most importantly, the thoughts they choose to reinforce. Every time a person entertains a negative thought, they strengthen the neural pathways in their brain that make negativity the default response. But the same is true for positive thoughts. The more a person chooses to see the good, focus on solutions, and shift their perspective toward possibilities, the more natural positivity becomes. It is a process of rewiring the brain, training it to operate from a place of optimism instead of doubt and fear. One of the biggest reasons negativity becomes a habit is because it is comfortable. It requires no effort to be negative. It is easy to complain, to dwell on problems, and to assume the worst. The brain is wired for survival, and part of survival means recognizing threats. This is why negative experiences often leave a stronger impact than positive ones. A single criticism can feel heavier than 10 compliments. A single failure can overshadow multiple successes. The brain latches on to what went wrong in an attempt to protect itself from future harm. But while this instinct may have been useful for survival in ancient times, it is not helpful in a world where growth and success require resilience, adaptability, and a willingness to take risks. To break the habit of negativity, one must first become aware of it. Many people do not even notice how often they engage in negative self-talk. They wake up and immediately think about how tired they are. They go to work and immediately complain about their tasks. They interact with others and immediately find faults, both in themselves and in those around them. This cycle continues day after day, reinforcing a negative mindset. But once a person starts paying attention to their thoughts, they begin to see the pattern. Awareness is the first step toward change. After awareness comes intentional action. Just as a person goes to the gym to train their body, they must train their mind to think differently. This does not mean ignoring problems or pretending the difficulties do not exist. It means choosing a perspective that empowers rather than weakens. Instead of saying, "This is too hard," a person can say, "This is a challenge I am capable of handling." Instead of thinking, "I always fail," they can think, "Every failure is a lesson that brings me closer to success." Instead of saying, "Nothing ever works out for me," they can say, "I have overcome difficulties before, and I will overcome this too." These small shifts in language create massive shifts in mindset over time. Another key to rewiring the brain for positivity is gratitude. Negativity thrives in a mindset of lack, where a person constantly focuses on what is missing, what is wrong, and what is unfair. But when a person shifts their attention to what they do have, their perspective changes. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude regularly leads to increased happiness, reduced stress, and improved overall well-being. A simple habit like writing down 3 things to be grateful for each day can recondition the brain to notice the positive aspects of life instead of just the negative. The environment also plays a significant role in shaping habits of thought. People absorb the energy around them, whether they realize it or not. Being surrounded by negativity, whether it is from news, social media, or pessimistic people, reinforces a negative mindset. On the other hand, surrounding oneself with positive influences, uplifting conversations, and inspiring content helps cultivate a mindset of growth and possibility. This is why successful people are intentional about the company they keep. They understand that the people around them can either lift them up or pull them down, and they choose their influences wisely. Breaking the habit of negativity also requires letting go of past experiences that reinforce a negative worldview. Many people carry pain from past failures, disappointments, and betrayals. They allow those experiences to define them, shaping their expectations for the future. But the past does not determine the future unless a person allows it to. Every day is an opportunity to create new patterns of thought, to choose new perspectives, and to redefine what is possible. One of the most powerful ways to shift from negativity to positivity is through action. It is difficult to feel negative when a person is actively working toward their goals, making progress, and experiencing personal growth. Taking even small steps toward improvement creates momentum. When a person achieves something, no matter how small, it builds confidence. When they challenge themselves and succeed, even in minor ways, it rewires their brain to associate effort with reward instead of frustration. At its core, positivity is not about pretending that everything is perfect. It is about choosing a mindset that allows for growth, resilience, and fulfillment. It is about recognizing that problems will always exist, but so will solutions. It is about understanding that challenges are not obstacles, but opportunities to develop strength. It is about realizing that negativity is a habit, but so is positivity. And the habit a person chooses will ultimately shape their life. Talent and intelligence can open doors, but they are not what ultimately determines success. The world is filled with highly talented individuals who never reach their full potential, and intelligent people who struggle to make an impact. What separates those who thrive from those who don't is not their natural ability, but their mindset. A strong mindset is the greatest advantage anyone can have because it dictates how a person responds to challenges, how they handle failure, and how they push forward when things don't go as planned. While talent and intelligence can give someone an initial advantage, it is resilience, adaptability, and an unwavering belief in possibility that determine who succeeds in the long run. People often assume that those who achieve great things are somehow different, as if they were born with something special that others don't have. But when you look closely, the most successful people are not always the smartest or the most naturally gifted. They are the ones who refuse to give up. They are the ones who find ways to grow, improve, and learn from every situation. They are the ones who understand that success is not about being the best right away, but about staying in the game long enough to become great. A strong mindset allows a person to see setbacks as temporary. When someone lacks resilience, every failure feels permanent. They internalize their mistakes, believing that they define them. They give up too soon, assuming they are not meant for success. But those with a strong mindset understand that failure is just a step on the path to success. They view challenges as opportunities to grow rather than signs to quit. They do not let a single failure dictate their entire future because they know that progress comes from persistence, not perfection. Adaptability is another key trait of those with a strong mindset. The world is constantly changing, and success belongs to those who can change with it. Rigid thinking leads to stagnation, while flexibility allows for continuous growth. Those who refuse to adapt get left behind, no matter how talented they are. But those who embrace change, who see obstacles as puzzles to be solved rather than barriers that block their way, are the ones who continue to move forward even in uncertain times. A strong mindset also means taking responsibility. People with a weak mindset tend to blame their circumstances, their upbringing, or the people around them for their lack of progress. They wait for the perfect opportunity, the right moment, or someone else to solve their problems. But those with a strong mindset understand that they are responsible for their own lives. They do not waste time making excuses. They take ownership of their actions, their choices, and their growth. When they make mistakes, they learn from them. When they face difficulties, they focus on what they can control rather than what they can't. One of the greatest advantages of a strong mindset is the ability to stay motivated even when the results are not immediate. In today's world, people expect quick results. They want instant success, immediate recognition, and fast progress. But real success takes time. It requires patience, persistence, and the ability to keep going even when there are no visible rewards yet. Those with a weak mindset give up too soon because they do not see results fast enough. But those with a strong mindset understand that progress is often invisible in the beginning. They keep working, knowing that their efforts will compound over time. Another critical aspect of a strong mindset is the ability to handle criticism. Many people let the opinions of others dictate their actions. They fear judgment, they hesitate to take risks, and they hold themselves back to avoid rejection. But those with a strong mindset understand that criticism is part of growth. They do not let fear of judgment stop them from pursuing their goals. Instead of taking criticism personally, they use it as feedback. They listen to what is useful, ignore what is not, and keep moving forward regardless of what others think. Confidence is a byproduct of a strong mindset. Confidence is not about arrogance or believing that one is better than others. It is about trusting one's ability to figure things out. People with a weak mindset doubt themselves at every turn. They wait for external validation before they take action. But those with a strong mindset build their confidence through action. They understand that confidence comes from doing, from failing and trying again, from proving to themselves that they are capable. Resilience, adaptability, responsibility, patience, and confidence are all cultivated through experience. No one is born with a strong mindset. It is something that is developed over time. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not talent, intelligence, or luck. It is the mindset they choose to adopt. Some people let challenges defeat them, while others use challenges as fuel to become better. Some people fear failure, while others see failure as a necessary part of the journey. Some people wait for things to change, while others take action and create their own opportunities. A strong mindset is the ultimate advantage in life because it ensures that no matter what happens, a person will find a way to keep going. There will always be obstacles, but those who refuse to quit will always find a way through. There will always be uncertainty, but those who adapt will always remain ahead. There will always be critics, but those who believe in themselves will never let the opinions of others dictate their future. At the end of the day, talent and intelligence can only take a person so far. It is the strength of the mind, the ability to keep pushing forward despite difficulties, and the commitment to continuous growth that separates those who achieve greatness from those who don't. A strong mindset does not guarantee an easy path, but it does guarantee that a person will never stop moving toward their goals.